Welcome everybody back to Truth Seeking Souls. I have the one, the only Jan Venturini. We are going to continue our discussion on karma. Don't you ever wish you can apply karma to some of those bad people in your lives? But that's not really what it's all about, is it, Jan?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, if you were standing with God, what you'd be you'd be immersed in light and love with no judgment on anything, anywhere. And what you would be told is how to be the best you that you could be, and to follow that you. And what's really important for people to know is they come in with a blueprint. It's like, you're going to build a house. You have a blueprint for the design, right? Well, when you come into life on this planet or other planets in other places, you come in with a blueprint. So you already preset up what you're going to go through to advance your soul, because that's why you're here. The only reality is love, and everything else falls under fear. Anger, frustration, they're all fear-based, ego-driven. But the most important thing for people to know is that if we could look at all situations in our life by saying, what am I to learn here? Instead of looking outside of ourselves and say, why me? Or why is this happening? Instead say, so what am I to learn in this situation? What is important to me here? All right. I had to do it this week with a beautiful young lady, 19 years old, who went to bed one night and had multiple strokes and woke up with just a head that works and none of the rest of her body's working. All right. And so we had to talk about that, because it's not a happen chance. That's not a happen chance. All right. Everything that happens to us in life, we preordain, we put in that little blueprint. All right. So where free choice comes in is when it's going to happen, in what way it's going to happen. All right. That's where we have free choice. But here's what's really important for people to know. You are an electromagnetic energy field. Jesus could save people because his whole electromagnetic body saw it healed when he walked and touched that person. He didn't doubt himself for one iota. He's an extension of God. He didn't doubt anything. Therefore, people were instantly healed. And he had actually no karma, because he came in as a pure soul. He already was pure. All right, we're not there. However, even though we're not pure, if we were to focus our energy on the outcome without putting doubt there, all right, without putting restrictions and conditions there, but seeing it as a reality, because you have to remember, time does not exist anywhere but here. We manufactured time. There is no time on the other side at all. Therefore, when we want to manifest in our life, intent comes from your electrical energy body, from your mind. And particularly when you can mix it with your emotions, you can push out and you can see that reality. Like, for instance, for you have this beautiful class. And you can already see them as being the most advanced class you've ever had. Seeing them go into places where no class has ever gone before. And seeing them as being the most congenial, cooperative, creative little beings you've ever had. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to end up with the most cooperative, creative beings, because that's how you're going to see them. And if that's how you see them, they fall into that energy, because what people have to remember is we're not separate little raindrops here. Our consciousness controls all of us. We time travel in our sleep state all the time.
Right.
All right. Therefore, and the reason we time travel is there really is no true time. And if you're on the other side, of course, you are going to be out there in that realm where, because you go in your sleep state where souls go when they die. All right. Okay. And what's really critical here is to realize that every single soul, when it goes to the other side, doesn't get judged, but gets shown. Let's use a different word. They get shown what they have done and the effect it has had. The soul then, if it feels really bad about things, will want to create a life to go back to undo those things.
Really?
Yes.
So is that reincarnation?
Yeah, and and actually, when you go to the other side, you become completely aware of every life you've ever lived. It all merges with consciousness. All right. And then when you look at, you'll see your blueprint for this lifetime right away. And you'll see what you actually accomplished that you set out to do. And if you actually had the reaction or had the growth that you were hoping to get when you came with that blueprint. Not always do we fulfill it. Sometimes we have to go back 2 and 3 times to fulfill one blueprint because it's sometimes people pick way too much. But remember, God's not going to come in and save us. We're all God. Every plan is God.
So what's the
Every
point of
plan.
God?
Well, there's no point in it because this is a place where everything gets to act out. Everything gets to exist here. Everything gets to explore all realities here. It's all allowed. All
Okay.
right. Nothing will stop that. However, if you're really wanting to advance your soul, you work on integrity, compassion, your word,
Mhm.
right? Taking the positive path, supporting others, helping others. All right, this is where the soul grows the most, and each soul can feel that, Jim.
Mhm.
Because in reality, when a person's doing something that is enlivening their soul,
Mhm.
they feel expanded. It's like being out in nature. All right, the closest thing to God that we have is nature.
Mhm.
We go out in nature. The trees don't judge us. The sky doesn't. The ocean doesn't. The plants in the backyard don't. Neither does God. We're not judged on the other side. All right.
Right.
We're shown. Big difference. And so when people are looking at karma, look at what keeps showing up in one's life. Whatever keeps showing up is where your karma resides. All right. So if a person's always having conflict in their family, they might have a lesson around being able to love the people and yet not lose their identity in the midst of that.
Mhm.
They might be born in a situation where they don't get the support of their parents because they're not supposed to become like their parents. They're supposed to find their own identity in the world. So everything has a purpose and a reason.
Okay, so then what? Okay, so let's say, I mean, you look at the news, there's always somebody beating somebody up or somebody doing something wrong to somebody. Okay? When someone says, well, karma's going to come back at you.
What we don't really know is we don't know where it all started.
Okay?
So let's say somebody punches them in the face.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that punch was a karmic conclusion for a punch in a past life that the other person that got punched did. That's what we didn't know.
That's
All
kind of
right.
scary.
And so, see, the thing is, you have to know the beginning to know all of that. So, in reality, as a soul trying to advance our souls, what we would do then is stop the man or the individual who's hurting someone, if we possibly can, and to provide support and care for the one that got hit, rather than judging who's right or who's wrong here.
So it sounds like there's really no such thing as karma. No?
Well, karma is cause and effect.
Okay.
All right.
So would you say is like the law of equal opposite reaction for every action
is a reaction.
reaction?
Yes. And it's not somebody doing it to you, you're doing it to yourself. Karma is self-created.
Mm-hmm.
Self-created.
Okay.
All right.
Self-created. Explain that. That's interesting.
The cause and effect of every action, thought's the same as an action.
Mm-hmm.
Every thought and every action that an individual has a counterpart to it. All right. If I was to judge a person for their culture or religion, I will get judged for my culture and religion.
Sure.
If I was to reach out and insult a person, then I will get insulted. That's what will come back. So it's cause and effect. The energy of the universe doesn't discern what is good or bad, right or wrong. It takes what it's received and it gives it back to you, like the waves of the ocean going in and out.
All right.
It's the same thing. So it's not so much what happens that we need to focus on, it's what we do with what happens. All right. So it's, for instance, I've had a lot of loss in this lifetime.
Yeah, you have.
Rather than my saying, oh, poor me, I've had a lot of loss in this lifetime, I don't. I say, I'm grateful that I was chosen to be the mother, to have children who would leave before me, because I understand the necessity of their leaving because their lives were complete.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than sitting there and wallowing in grief for losing them, doesn't mean I don't miss them. It just means that I understand, and I know that I chose it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so my acceptance of that is part of the karma of that. It also has to do with my sending people to their death in another lifetime. And so that's a karmic completion for acts that I've committed in other lifetimes, by the way. All right. And so what's really important for each of us is not to look at another person and measure or judge them. Rather, we can ask them, well, what did you learn from the situation? All right. How can you resolve this in a way that will cause you to grow, will make you feel better about yourself? All right. Instead of fixing problems for other people, we'd be far better off to say, have you thought about ways in which you could fix that problem? And how can I support you in that? All right. Because karma is contained within the auric field that sits around our body, by the way.
Okay.
It's everything that we've been and are going to be is sitting right here on around it. Our body is sitting in the midst of us. All right.
So it's not about revenge.
It's, what was that?
It's not about revenge.
Not at all.
Hmm.
Revenge is an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
Revenge is fear that becomes feeling of lack of confidence,
Mm-hmm.
that wants to retaliate for something that one had to experience that hurt. So revenge really, and it's really like, okay, how would I put it? It's like sometimes some of these leaders that come in that do these hideous things are trying to wake up masses of people that have been sound asleep for generations and don't really take a stand for anything. They just float around. There's baby souls here that have very few lifetimes on earth, and there's people who have many lifetimes on earth. All right. And some of them are here as way showers. Many of the gurus in India are ancient beings who are just here to show us the way. Same with the Dalai Lama. Same with Gandhi, was a very evolved soul. All right. We have evolved beings who come on this planet, and when they come, they're able to endure things that we can't. We see them do things that we can't do. All right. And so karma is nothing more than the absolute reaction to an action or a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really important, and my son mentioned this to me, is monitor your thoughts. They're just as powerful. If I think I want to hit a person, it's the same as hitting the person.
Right.
All right. So that's why I use Ho'oponopono all the time. All right. And I have to do it all the time with what's been happening in the United States, because I am a caregiver and it's natural for me not to see people harmed. And so I have to really work on that one for myself.
Oh, okay. So I'm just wondering, because you're saying there's an equal and opposite reaction, and it's so I'm just curious exactly, like you see all those warlike nations right now.
Yes.
Should they be afraid?
They're power struggles. It's a game that's all being played. All right. This is game. I'm more powerful than you are. I'm going to take from you and take. And all of this got created way back when we created money.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Unfortunately, we were supposed to just share everything with one another. All right. Equally, and allow.
Mm-hmm.
When we created monetary value, we created mass karma. There is individual karma, there is collective karma, and there's universal karma. All right?
Right.
And what these wars are about are universal karma. I want more. I want to own you, and I want to own all your belongings.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really what it's all about. But the truth is, it's all coming to a head. And so you're seeing everything in its exaggeration right now
Uh-huh.
because it's all coming to a head, and they're going to take it to the point where there isn't enough resources in the world to take care of what's created. And that will be the fall and the breakdown. And we'll go back to bartering. We'll go back to living more naturally on the planet.
Mhm.
And remember, we've recycled on this planet many, many times. We've been on it for centuries, far longer than we even know. So we keep recycling ourselves. And believe it or not, we were more intelligent generations ago than we are now. We could do more at one time than we took our energy to move blocks to create pyramids and cut things precision. That was done with energy because we knew more how to use energy a long time ago than we do today. And one of the reasons for that is that we're getting caught up too much in technology
Yeah.
that is taking us away from our natural being. So we have to balance that.
Well, you're right. It is being taken away from us. So I would imagine that there's some people who kind of wish that there was a different definition for karma. You know, let me give you an example. When I was a kid, okay, I was in eighth grade and I was in a locker room and I got attacked by this big old red-headed monster named Anthony. And, he was pounding on me, but I mean, it scared me, it traumatized me.
Sure.
So I couldn't fight back because he was way bigger. And what was really sad is the fact that there was a teacher there that just stood there and watched the whole thing and didn't do anything about it. I mean, it only lasted a minute, but didn't do anything about it. So at any rate, the next year, Anthony and I were both on the same football team, and we had to carry these big bags, these weighted bags that the linemen would use to practice blocking and tackling, and so we had to carry them. And I was on the freshman team, so as I was walking, I saw that the varsity team, the big guys, were kind of marching, up this path. So I rushed past them, make sure that they're big guys. Well, Anthony didn't do that. He kind of took his time and he carried the bag. One of them just shoved Anthony, and he slid like 10 or 12 feet. I smiled. To me, that was karma.
It was karma. It's fascinating when we get to see it, actually occurring. It doesn't always happen in the same lifetime that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always happen at the same time. However, many times it does. And one of the things that I noticed living on Kauai is that this island, because it's part of Lemuria, karma happens much faster here than anywhere else. I have watched people come here, they start criticizing the island and the people and the language, and before you know it, they don't know why, but they're just pushed right off the island. It just doesn't work for them. And that's how this island is. If you start getting critical of it, it will block you. And you'll end up moving and you'll be gone. And I've just, since I've lived here, I've just seen so many situations of karma in action here from the actual island itself. Right? It's amazing. And I've also seen beautiful things come about too out of nowhere. It's been
Hawaii has an ugly past.
Yes, it does.
They and not that the people. I mean, they had a lot of human sacrifices.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, because the United States was so easily able to take over that island, was that karma too?
Well, yeah, they fought each island, like the Native American tribes in North America that fought each other for land, and same with the Hawaiian Islands. Each one fought each other. They had things called place of refuge on each island, which they had a ruling that if you got to the place of refuge, nobody would attack you. And there's a place of refuge on every island because they had all kinds. So cultures come and go here, if we've not noticed, right? And we've been intermingling all over the world, and one person's up, the other's down, then this one's up and that one's down. And so it's really fascinating if you just sit back and say, okay, this is just one great big movie.
Yeah.
But what's really important about this movie of karma being enacted is, yes, there are leaders who are not fixable.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're taken into the light, they can be dissolved back into consciousness. All right. They can even choose that rather than have to live out the karma that they may have created. All right. So there are souls who volunteer for hideous things on this planet to do because they want to melt back into consciousness. All right. And so they will enact something to hopefully wake up tons and tons of people. All right. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it's kind of like a gigantic movie theater, because remember, you're eternal. You cannot be destroyed. All right. There's no way you can be destroyed. But when you're on the other side and when you go home to the other side, there's no conflict. Nobody judges you. You get to do whatever you want.
Well, anything you want. What if it's bad things?
Well, they're not comfortable, so you don't sit with them for very long. You actually can't do bad things to people because it just doesn't work.
Oh.
Because your energy has to flow, and it only flows from expansion. And when you're doing things that are what you would call bad,
Mm-hmm.
you don't expand. All right? You have to learn how to move energy.
Mm-hmm.
The first things they learn over there, which Gary was demonstrating to me when he turned my clock ahead for me so that I could get up really early in the morning to see, he had to show me that he could take his energy and move now material objects. So they have to learn how to do these things because they're energy forms. All right. But as far as this planet goes, there is a universal karma being acted out right now in North America. All right. You know, in the Bible, it says the first shall be last and the last shall be first. You know, we prided ourselves on being the best at everything. Well, we have the worst medical now, one of the worst educational systems now. We have one of the worst societies now, the highest crime rate.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Because we have taken things to extremes here.
Well, the most corrupt politicians,
Most corrupt
and we're
politicians.
supporting a genocide, and I mean, it's tragic.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It totally is. And it's important for the people to step up and step out and let their voices be heard.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's power in the people, but they have to wake up to the fact that they're powerful and that they don't have to sit back and take this. All right. And I watched it. I remember the 60s and 70s with Vietnam. I watched how people marched every week till that thing finally ended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, one can only hope. Right now, I'm going to be honest. I would not want to be Israel right now.
Well, Israel and what's happening to Gaza is just so tragic, right? And what Putin's doing to Zelensky and his country is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have are warmongers. These are warmongers, power grabbers, and money hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and they want to be dictators. They want to be dictators. All right. The funniest part about all that is none of that has any power at all on the other side of the veil. None. Right.
They'll be in for a surprise.
Yeah, one of the Koch brothers has been in for it for quite some time now. You know,
You don't care about him.
he had to find out how unimportant he was on the other side.
Oh, that must have killed.
Well, money has no power over there.
That must have been a second death.
Yeah. So that, but the thing about, I think what each person should take away as far as karma goes, it's to stop criticizing themselves for their decisions in their life and to instead
Mm-hmm.
really look at what they're learning from each of those situations. All right. Like, I'm going to go back to when that boy hit you, even as young as you were, your survival instincts were so strong that you did not fight back because you knew, all right, in your subconscious mind, if I don't retaliate, the universe will.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the universe did retaliate. All right. But had you fought back, the varsity team may not have pushed him down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I can only imagine.
And the thing is, what I do with Israel and Gaza, and what I do also with Zelensky and the children of that country, is I visualize it healing powerfully. And I visualize everyone coming to care for that area and take care of those areas.
Mhm.
I visualize, I try to work on seeing it completely free of all harm, totally.
Mhm.
All right, so that's what I want to see in my world. And I do know this, that when we're asleep at night, we're out there working on all these things.
Mhm.
Whatever's in your heart that you have a deep concern about, you are working on it at night because you go to the same place when you're sleeping that you go home when you're sleeping. And that's the only way you can live in these tiny bodies on this planet because you don't have to be here 24 hours a day.
Right. Okay. Well, very interesting. So we learned more things today, and I'm just kind of surprised because I always thought the karma was a revenge thing, but it's really a
No,
kind of a loop.
it's an action reaction. And this is why so much of primitive cultures made circles on walls because it's the ongoing,
Well, let me ask you this: do you think the natives, what happened to them was karma because they were fighting each other and they
Sure.
were fighting territory? I mean, I mean, even the
Oh,
tribes
yeah.
in Africa were.
Yeah, and also one of the very first cultures to have slaves was Africa.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
In Africa, they started their own slaves, and tribe A would capture
Yes,
tribe B, and all of a sudden
right,
got this
right.
slavery, and they decided to make money. Hey, here's some help if you guys need some.
That's right. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like if we don't know the beginning story, then we can't know where the completion of karma really is. But the way you can handle that is, in any situation that comes up in your life or something's coming at you, say, please forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I love you. That's how you break it up because you don't get to know what you did that caused that to happen to you. But how you diffuse it
Mm-hmm.
is say, please forgive me. Thank you. I'm sorry. I love you. That comes from Hawaiian Huna, but it's
Well,
powerful. Such a
that's not going to happen in the United States, and I can imagine the karma that's going to come to this nation, if what you're saying is true. And so we'll see. I
well,
mean,
imagine that every soul in order to return to the Godhead that they came from, has to move beyond all criticism, all cruelty,
mm,
and come from profound love for all things, nature,
mm,
animals, and people. So people who do what you're talking about are pushing themselves backwards, but not forward. All right. So they then become the victims of the next war, don't they?
yeah.
If you attack, you're going to be attacked on. That's what's going to
Oh,
happen.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm afraid for this
Yeah.
nation.
So it's kind of like, as we sit in the middle of this, we still have the power to send out what we would like to see in our world. All
Mhm.
right. And to love everything where we are. Love your class, love your wife, love your son, love the land your house sits on, love California that you're residing in. All right. Love the United States beyond its politicians. Love the earth that's in every state. Love the people with the hearts that deserve to be helped. And don't live in a state of fear around all of it. Try really hard to stay out of fearful ideology
Mhm.
because it constricts one. It does this. All right.
All righty. Well, with that being said, Jan, we've got another great lesson for karma, and well, we'll come back again. We'll talk about something else. So, with that being said, everybody, if you have any questions for Jan, send it to Truth Seeking Souls. Send it to well, just go ahead and send it to Mr. Haig's class at truthseeking at gmail.com. We'll have a link at the website, And again, amazing stuff. So, here's the email. info@truthseekingsouls.com. info@truthseekingsouls.com. We will have a website soon. And of course, you can get this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. All right. With that being said, Jan, thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you.